Well, I think the president went step by step in directly responding to the concerns of the American people, and I think effectively made the case as to why those concerns are either unfounded to some degree in some cases, can be met in other cases, and the reason why it is important to be able to respond to the use of Assad's use of chemical weapons against innocent civilians beyond Syria and in the context of the world for others who may have those access to chemical weapons as well.
But if the president feels this strongly about these atrocities, likening them to what happened with the Nazis in the Second World War, it does prompt the question, why has he not taken action so far? He has the power to do so.
Well, yes, I personally believe that under the War Powers Act, he could have had an action that wouldn't have extended beyond 60 days. If it did, then he had to come to the Congress after that. But I think he's made the case that we are stronger as a nation in our resolve internationally as well when we have the support of the Congress behind the president in such an action. And I think that is what he has tried to do. And I think that tonight, hopefully the American people who are riveted now on this issue had an opportunity to hear their concerns allayed and hopefully say to their members of Congress that under these limited circumstances, I can understand why the president needs to proceed.
My colleague Jake Tapper has just tweeted a speech to a public that doesn't want to go to war by a president who doesn't want to go to war. And that is certainly the impression that I got listening to him. If this vote eventually takes place and he was to lose it, he still has the power, if he wants to take the action that he believes is necessary. But he's boxed himself into a really difficult corner now, hasn't he?
Well, look, I believe that, number one, we'll have to see whether this diplomatic effort is real. I'm skeptical, but I'm hopeful at the end of the day, and we'll test the resolve of both Russia and Syria in the United Nations Security Council, I believe, relatively quickly. And then the world will understand that all the diplomatic efforts we've led for the last 2 years, which have been vetoed by Russia, whether Russia and Syria are serious in this regard. And if not, I think it strengthened the president's hand for the vote that would be pursued here in the Congress.